Hey, wine mermaids. This is the Peace, Love, and Wine podcast, bringing you happy hour conversations with awesome women on self-care, sisterhood, and creative living to reduce stress and maximize joy. Life is short, so grab a glass and get ready to sip, sparkle, and make a splash. Make sure to visit peaceloveandwine.com and enter your email to receive VIP deals and get your free self-care download. Now, here's your wine sister hostess with the mostest, Tiffany Humfeld.
Hello, welcome to the Peace, Love, and Wine podcast. This is Tiffany with my lovely guest today, Dr. Kimberly Kelley. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, aloha, Tiffany and company.
Thank you for being here today. I'm looking forward to talking to you for a few reasons. And one is I find it very interesting that you hold both an MD and an MBA, right?
Yes, I do.
Tell me what made you go both those routes?
I know. What happened? Well, actually, I've always been a healer by trade. I knew that I wanted to be a physician many, many years ago when I was in elementary school, and they sent a letter home with my mom saying, I needed to wear glasses. And then the eye doctor put the glasses on, and oh my God, the entire world opened up to me. And I wanted to be able to help people like that. So that was the beginning of me wanting to go into medicine and wanting to heal. And so then I matriculated, obviously, through medical school and did that route because that's what you did in those days. If you wanted to be in medicine and you wanted to heal, you went to medical school or you were a nurse. So then fast forward a few years, I realized that I had an epiphany, a midlife occurrence, if you will. And I realized that I wasn't living my best life. And I wanted to live my best life. And so I wanted to stay in medicine. I wanted to help in that way, but I also wanted to do something else that could feed my soul in a little different way. And so I wanted to have this company. I transitioned from Ohio to Hawaii, and it was those things that I learned here in how to get in touch with Mother Nature, how to swim in the ocean and let the ocean waves kind of rock you to sleep, if you will, and then climbing the mountains and just getting in touch with Mother Nature once again. Those were the things that helped me to heal during my midlife challenge. And so I wanted to be able to give that and to share that with others. I did not take one business class in undergraduate, not one. And so I knew nothing about how to establish a business. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I want this to be successful, but okay, let me go back to school. Let me get my MBA. Let me do something. And so they had a program at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. It was specifically for physicians. It was primarily to teach physicians how to be executives, which really wasn't my goal. My goal was to try to learn how to develop my company. And so I went to the physicians MBA program at University of Tennessee in Knoxville about 5 years ago, graduated. And that's how I happened to get the MBA after the MD.
So were you living in Hawaii at the time and then you went to Knoxville, Tennessee?
Yes. So they had an interesting program. I researched many of them, but it was the only one that I could kind of still maintain my autonomy and still have my practice here in Hawaii and then do that program. I would have to go out once a quarter. We went for what we called a residency program, and we met with the professors for 1 week at a time, once a quarter. This program was an accelerated program. It was a year-long program, but it was like, trying to drink from a fire hose. I mean, it was fast and furious, but nevertheless, it was a very awesome program. So I was living in Hawaii, but then I would travel to and from Knoxville, Tennessee, University of Tennessee in Knoxville to do the learning and do the instruction.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
That's a lot. I get a little crazy sometimes and I go off the deep end, but it was great. I don't regret it. It was a great, wonderful program and a lot of wonderful people that I'm still friends with today.
And how has that changed what you do in your medical practice today?
It's changed a lot in that since that time, I had some incredible mentors that I met. One of my mentors, his name is Pat, and he was a retired businessman, but now was affiliated with the university to try to teach young physicians how to be better business persons. And because medicine, as you know, is becoming more of a business entity. And so trying to teach physicians, we have that mindset, but how do we learn how to be better business people. And so at any rate, I met Pat, and Pat was my mentor. And Pat has taken me from ground zero to 100. And by that, I mean, we published a book. I have the book, The Road to Mana. And we have a company now, Core Wellness Healing, Core Wellness Hawaii, which we do retreats for physicians and other healthcare providers. And just it's an incredible. Of course, I'm going to say it's an incredible book, but it's a bestseller. It's a great read. It's a quick read. It tells a story. In Hawaii, we like to talk story, and we tell stories because I could lecture to you all day. I mean, how boring is that? But if I tell a story, it's more memorable and meaningful to you. So that's what we did in the book. We kind of used archetypes and basically told a story. And I think each whoever reads it, and I think you'll find yourself in the book as well. I know I found myself in the book, and it's based on real life characters. Some of them are a little fictional, but nevertheless, I think it's a great story, and it's an easy read, less than 100 pages, but very entertaining and very informative as well.
And I haven't read through it all yet, but I was reading about it, and it kind of sounds like the characters in the book go on one of the retreats that you lead in a way, right?
Oh, you picked up on that. So they do. They do go on a retreat. There's 5 people from all walks of life, and they find themselves in the midst of various crises in their life. At any rate, needing change and wanting to change and wanting to do things different so that they could live their best life and be more successful in whatever realm that they're in. And so they meet up with this an incredible sage, this lady who's renowned in Hawaii, and she's on the big island of Hawaii, and she's there, and she has these retreats. And so these 5 strangers come for a week, and they learn so much about themselves. And really, the person who leads the retreat, her name is Sister, and Sister basically holds a mirror to them. And a lot of learning, most learning, is self-reflective. You hold that mirror up, you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was doing that. I didn't know I was saying that. And sometimes it takes others to help you with that, and when you're in close community with others. And so that's what Sister does at the retreat. And so there's 5 healing modalities. There's nutrition, there's movement, there's massage, there's yoga, and there's, did I say exercise? I think I said movement. What's that? Movement, and yoga and mindfulness. So those are the 5 that Sister talks about. Each character, each of those 5 people represents one of those. So it's a very clever way of presenting information. So you've got to read it.
Yes.
Tiffany, you got to read it.
So tell me more about then Core Wellness and what you're doing now.
Okay, so what we're doing now is really we're holding retreats, and the reason why I would like for you to read the book, the retreats are actually based on the book. A lot of people came up to me after the retreat or after reading the book and said, man, we'd like to go on a retreat like that for real. Can you make that happen? Absolutely, we can make it happen. So that's really the basis of most of our retreats. Now, we do other things for other folks who want us to do various and sundry trainings and whatnot. And so we'll go to an organization and we'll talk about nutrition. But the way that I talk about nutrition is a lot different than another physician or a nutritionist will talk about nutrition. For example, I know that we all know about the 5 basic food groups, and now we're learning that we should eat more of a plant-based whole food diet. We're learning these things because it all has to do with inflammation, and so we're learning different things about inflammatory diets and those kinds of things. But what I like to talk about and what we talk about in Core Wellness is that's great. You can feed your body, but what are you doing to feed your soul?
Right.
Those are the things that really make the difference. And the way that you feed your soul is with the relationships, the friendships, the companionships, those things that we do in community, those things that we somehow have seemed to have lost our way from time to time. I can remember when I was a little girl, I could play outside all day long and did under the streetlight. And my parents would have to call me in, come in, and you haven't eaten all day. But I wasn't hungry. And I wasn't hungry because I was being fed on a whole nother level. And that was with my girlfriends and my buddies and just having a great time. And so those are the things that I believe now that we need to get back to so that we can be more wholesome and healthy. So to answer your question directly, what are we doing with Core Wellness Hawaii, Core Wellness Healing? That's what we do. We have retreats. Our classroom is actually in nature. We go outside, we skip, we jump, we run, we play. We go on little hikes. We dig in the sand. We play in the water. We jump up and down like little children. At the same time, though, we do have a very unique model for health. I'm Western trained, and that's my tradition, obviously, but I have come to know that the Eastern healing, there's a lot to that. Those traditions that are thousands of years old, we can't just throw that away. And so what we did was we combined my Western healing holistic training with Eastern holistic training. We have an acupuncturist, is a doctor of Chinese medicine on our team. And then bridging that, we actually have a counselor. We have a marriage and family life counselor. Because a lot of times the things that are bothering us, the things that are causing us dis-ease or disease, you have to dig a little deeper. And I'm not a counselor, but she digs a little deeper and helps our clients to go down and really find out what's really bothering you, because oftentimes our issues are really in our tissues. And so as an anesthesiologist, I've made a living watching surgeons cut out disease and cut out problems, if you will. But if we can do that on our own, or if we know how to learn to dig in our own soul and get out really what's bothering us, it's a lot more inexpensive and it's not quite as painful as the other type of healing can be. So those are the things that we do at Core Wellness Healing at our retreats. We have a great time. We do learn, but we kind of keep it simple. Less is more. I like to have a good time. I'm just a big kid. I like to laugh and joke. And I'm not saying that life isn't serious. It is, but it's also meant for us to have a good time. So we try to have a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast to me. Do you do retreats for non-physicians as well?
Oh, absolutely. We do. The reason why I did it for physicians initially and healthcare providers, nurses, PAs, MAs, those kinds of things, because we're all on the battlefield right now, and we're supposed to be the ones that most folks come to feel better, to get healing and to be well. But if I'm not well myself, how well can I help you? And there is a tremendous amount of press now about physician burnout. And there's also some press now about physician suicide. And those are real entities that we deal with. And so as we're pouring into others, which we do day in and day out, we have to find ways to remind us of ways to pour into ourselves. And so one of the first things I wanted to do, because that's my tribe, I wanted to, hey, look, guys, we can pour into ourselves. Simple, easy technique. We don't have to take the pharmaceuticals, the Prozac, all of that. We don't have to have that glass of wine every night. I mean, that's all well and good, but don't let that stress be the reason why you're grabbing the glass of wine. I mean, if it's food as medicine, that's a different story, which food can be our medicine and should be our medicine. And so we wanted to give, to take care of ourselves first and reflect on how we can use just some simple tools that we can do right at our desk. And we did one of them just before starting this recording. I was very impressed. She's like, okay, let's just take a nice cleansing breath. I'm like, oh, Tiffany's got it. You were right on point, because one of the things we don't do oftentimes is breathe. Oh my God, if we breathe deeply and with intention, we increase our parasympathetic tone, decrease our heart rate, decrease our blood pressure, and we just feel better. And that's simple. And we don't have to give our healing power, we don't have to give our healing power away. And so, yes, we do retreats for others other than physicians and healthcare providers. We do it for everybody because I think everybody needs it. In the book, you'll see There's 2 housewives who have actually come to the retreat, and there's a retired soldier who comes to the retreat. There's a physician who's at the retreat, and there's a college student who's at the retreat. So this book has utility for everybody, and that's why I really want to encourage you to just take a few minutes, read it. I think it's entertaining, and it's a quick read. Like I said, it's about 100 pages or a little less than 100 pages, so you can get through it in less than a week or a couple days or so. But I think you'll find yourself, and we do offer it, and we come to everybody. We at some point, our business model is to take this internationally, and certainly to the mainland. So we may be visiting a place near you.
I would love to. Everything that you're talking about is right up the alley.
Yes.
I'm actually a licensed massage therapist. I'm not currently practicing, but
awesome. Well, then you know the power of touch.
Yes.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
I definitely understand what you're saying about caregivers needing to make sure they're taking care of themselves, because that's one of the a big challenge, right? If you're always giving and then you're not filling yourself back up, that's doesn't right. do you or your patients any good.
Absolutely. I mean, years ago, there's this notion about massage being the way that parents took care of the little ones when they were ill, they were sick, that you would get a massage. They would just start rubbing your entire body. I mean, you probably can speak more to that as a massage therapist, but that healing touch, there's something to that. There's something to just giving a hug. You know, it's just so powerful and it's just so meaningful, but yet we don't do it enough.
Definitely. So everybody who's listening, here's your reminder. Go get a hug and a massage.
A hug and a massage. And there's some simple techniques that Tiffany, on your hand. Certainly in Eastern medicine, they don't think of the body system as we do in Western medicine. Western medicine, we sort of compartmentalize things. We have the thorax, we have the pelvic area, and then we have the brain and whatnot. But in Eastern medicine, it's more of a continuum. And so you can actually have your hand and just touch certain points on your hand, massage certain points on your hand, and really get very, very therapeutic benefit from that, because you're touching those, what we call baroreceptors, or those pressure receptors. And you can touch those receptors with acupuncture. You can touch them with acupressure. You can touch them with just simple massage. So those are some of the kinds of things that we say, hey, just start, massaging your hand, right? Your happy spot is right there. So just massage that. I remember my grandmother years ago, she would be in the kitchen and she'd be cooking, and then she would just be kind of wringing her hands. I'm like, what is going on with that? But they did that. And to me, that was kind of, they don't know why they were doing it, but I believe that they were doing it because they were touching those points, those stress points, and they were actually self-soothing themselves. Mm-hmm. So those are the kinds of things that we talk about in core wellness, how you can help yourself, how you can give yourself, give the power back to yourself. We believe that the universe has given us the power, but we've somehow forgotten. We've somehow gotten off track, and we give it to the doctor, we give it to the nurses, we give it to everybody except ourselves. And I think we need to regain our power, regain our strength, so that we can help ourselves.
I definitely agree. What are your recommendations for people to do that? Because I know it's easy to, when people are starting to feel burned out, the last thing they want to do is exercise. They want to grab the junk food, right? You recommend people make the conscious, continual effort that's required to maintain their own health and take that responsibility.
Well, I think you mentioned a big word, and that word is awareness. I think number one is being aware that there is a problem, that you may or may not be feeling as well as you know that you can. And then don't, movement. Don't try to run the marathon if you haven't been training for it. How about you just walk around the block? Just one step. It's like, well, sometimes it seems overwhelming. I mean, I don't want to train. I don't want to get up. I don't know what to do. Well, just that one step, that first step. I mean, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just a small bite, and be consistent in that. Find some buddies, girlfriends, boyfriends, just buddies who are like-minded. I mean, instead of instead of eating, the Snickers bar at lunchtime because you don't have time, or you forgot to pack your lunch, or you just don't have time to get up from your desk. Maybe just to have a glass of water, or drink a glass of water. Actually, just go for a stretch. Just, hey, you want to go up and get a stretch with me, or you want to, just walk up the stairs and back, or how about if we just go outside? Can we go outside for just a few minutes and, take some of those nice deep cleansing breaths that we talked about? That's something easy that's always with you. Your breath is always with you, and so just being aware and being mindful, just remembering. Maybe I can't, do the 10K this go round, but I can certainly take a few steps. And when I'm taking those steps, I can take nice cleansing breaths to help me. I can do that. I can massage the inner part of my palm. I can massage the outside of that to make me feel better. I can massage up and down my arm. Oh, what about my face? I can massage my face. Those are very simple. I'm tired. Do I need to grab my cup of coffee? Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I can't say, but how you can easily massage these muscles in your face. And that can be very refreshing and rejuvenating. So those are the kinds of things that we talk about, just the simple things, the breath, the massage, the touching, the community, talking to your friends about some of your challenges or about some of your goals, and doing it together. Life is meant to be done in pairs. We weren't meant to be alone.
Yeah, I think what you're saying about the face, massaging your face is great. I know for me personally, I hold so much tension in my jaw, and even in my scalp. I notice if I get a massage and it's been a while, it's like, wow, how is there so much tension on my head?
Right. Doesn't it feel wonderful?
And that's something that's really, some places are harder to massage on your own, but definitely your face and your head are some that are pretty easy.
Pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And even your feet. Mm-hmm. How about that? Let's take off our socks, and wow, maybe our feet may not be as fresh and clean as we want, but they're still your feet. They support your body. So how about give them a break? Maybe just massage that big toe. Mm-hmm. Massage that second toe. Massage the top of that heel. And then how about underneath the sole? The sole.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I took a nice bath last night and definitely gave a lot of attention to my feet.
Oh, wonderful. How did you feel?
Oh, it felt good. I felt really good. Yeah. I think I spent about an hour in there.
Oh, my goodness.
Breathing and doing some muscle work on myself.
Oh, that's amazing. And, I think showers are wonderful, but a bath is amazing. A bath is just so incredible. I mean, the water it just washes you, and that's what the ocean does. And sometimes you may not have the ocean available to you, but like you said, the bath is right there. It's still water. It's still refreshing. It's still cleansing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you did it.
I did. I'm definitely big on the self-care. That's one of the big things that I focus on, and helping others do the same. So I think we're in good company together.
Yes, indeed.
So tell me about the title of your book, The Road to Mana.
So The Road to Mana, I'm going to show it right here. Boom.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Thank you. The Road to Mana. So Mana in Hawaii means power, means energy. And remember I was telling you about we give our energy away to others to help heal us and to make us feel better and all of that. And the Road to Mana is about a journey. There is a real road to Mana on the Big Island. It's called Mana Road. And on that road, it's kind of the backdrop of that road is Mauna Kea. It's a real mountain, very energetic, very spiritual, and very peaceful and harmonious. And you feel that energy when you get close to that road, when you're on the road. But I wanted to write about a journey, because life is a journey. And the journey that I had for myself personally was finding my own power. You would think that I would have had it because I had all these accolades. I was a physician. I was married to a physician. We had children. I was working back in my hometown. I had all the trappings of what would appear to be a very, very successful career. But I was miserable. I wasn't happy at all. And I had a little talk with the universe, and I said, you promised me a lot of things, and I'm grateful for the things that you've given me, but this isn't it. This can't be all that you have for me. There's got to be more. You can have all of this, take all this away and give me what you really, really want me to have. Well, you have to be careful what you ask for, because within 2 years, I had nothing. I had none of that. But what I did have, I had my 2 youngest children in tow. My other oldest son had already graduated from high school, but my 2 youngest children in tow, and we came to Hawaii, and basically we had nothing but a few suitcases. But we were as happy and as tickled pink as we could be in this new environment, starting all over again. And so that was part of my journey, leaving everything else, family, friends behind, coming to this new land. But this is the place where I was able to heal my heart and my soul, if you will. And it was a journey, truly, truly a journey. And so the road to Mana speaks to finding yourself. If you've gotten lost in life, if you've gotten lost in your career in terms of your purpose or where you want to go and how you want to be it, but it's not quite there, the road to Mana helps you to find that healing and happiness and power again on the road to life. And so that's the story. And it's the story of 5 people, as I said, who come and they meander on this road. But the road is your road, your path, your journey to your own happiness and your own peace, and realizing that it may not be what you thought. Clearly, it's probably not what you thought, or you would be happy. And so it's just finding the happiness. So that's kind of what I wanted to share about. And the Big Island, I live on Oahu. The Big Island of Hawaii is where the 2 volcanoes are. It's just an incredible, peaceful place to be and to grow and to do. And so I just wanted to share and tell people a little bit about the islands and a little bit about some of the folklore that's here on the island, the healing power and the energy that you can get here. And you don't need to be here forever. You don't have to live here forever. You can just, come for a vacation or come for a time out, if you will, get what you need and then go back to wherever you call home and begin to start again. So that's the reason why I named it The Road to Mana.
And are your retreats on Oahu?
They are. Our retreats right now, primarily they're on Oahu, but we've got some coming in 2020. I'm actually in Bali and one in Spain. We kind of I love to travel. So we just kind of wanted to take our dog and pony show on the road. And I know others like to travel as well. And those are wonderful places to be, do and be. It doesn't have to be just on Oahu in Hawaii, but most of them are here. We also have one on Kauai. Our doctor of Chinese medicine, her name is Brooke Foreman. She's actually lives on Kauai, and so she comes over to help us with the retreats. Our other partner is Kim Bradford. Kim does our counseling piece. She's the marriage and family counselor, and then there's me. I'm Western trained, a Western physician, and so I'm here on Oahu. So primarily they're here on Oahu, but as I said, we kind of go to wherever you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's neat.
Yeah.
I noticed one of the things that you talk about is chronic pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that is definitely something that I have struggled with and I'm working through. Can you talk about chronic pain and whether you have personal experience with that or how you help other people with that?
Sure, be happy to. So one of the things I do as an anesthesiologist, we're the ones who help you go to sleep and make sure that you're comfortable and that you're safe while you have your surgery and that you wake up, pretty much the way that you went to sleep. One of the things that I noticed, I actually work at a military facility, and a lot of our soldiers, sailors, and service members would come back with unbelievable pain from some of their injuries. And I was trying to figure out a way, other than with medication, that we could help and serve that population better. One of the things that I notice is in doing this, I would do what we call nerve blocks. So if there's a part of your extremity or leg or something like that was injured, we would put catheters in and we would put numbing medicine around those nerves so that they would basically be numb, similar to what you get when you go to the dentist's office. And what I noticed was I could give you all the numbing medicine and all of that, and I would come by on the rounds and say, "Hey, you're doing great. We did a good job. We put this nerve block in, the catheters. You should be feeling pretty good." And sure enough, my pain. The patient would say, "My pain is great. My pain, I don't have any pain." But then why are you sad? Why are you crying? Because they're hurting in another way, and a lot of pain is not all physical pain. Some of it's emotional pain, and trying to fix that emotional pain, you sometimes can't do that with medication. You can't. It has to be therapy. It has to be belonging. It has to be togetherness. A lot of these soldiers lost their friends in the war, and so they're actually grieving. So at first I started to do acupuncture. I went back and I learned how to do acupuncture, and we would do acupuncture, and that was beneficial, and that was helpful. But one of the things that I realized is that some of the clients would have addictions, that now there's a huge opioid epidemic, and some of that we're responsible for as the physicians that were giving the pain medications. And we know that that's probably not the way to go anymore. But so I went back and I went to actually the Betty Ford Center, and I studied at the Betty Ford Center. That's the center that has to do with addiction and alcoholism and all of those kinds of things. So actually, Kim Bradford and myself, 2 members of our team, went to try to figure out what we could do better, more, to learn from the best of the best. And one of the things that I didn't know about was a study that they had there. And this is a study that they did actually back in the 90s. It was called the Adverse Childhood Event Study. And what they learned
Adverse Childhood Event Study?
Yes. And what we learned was that events that happen in our childhood, be it emotional trauma, physical trauma, dysfunctional families, those are the things that impact us the most. Because when we're children, we have very creative minds, very creative. And typically we'll make up a story. Children are wonderful about telling stories. Well, when there's something that negative happens, emotional, physical, abuse, dysfunction in a family, we'll make up a story about that. We'll think, "Oh, well, that was my fault that such and such happened. Well, that was my fault that Uncle Jojo was touching me or fondling me. There's something that I did." And we make up these stories, and we maintain these stories all of our lives. And then those stories actually change the way that we view our world. And so then we have cognitive dysfunction or cognitive impairment, because these things happen during our neurodevelopment. And what the study basically showed was that it's a test that you can take. And if you answer, I think it's more than 3, is it like a 10, the most simplified version is a 10-question test. And if you answer like 3 or more, then you may have had childhood trauma, drama, dysfunction, those kinds of things. And those are the things that lead to unhealthy choices, that lead to chronic disease, that lead to shortened lifespan in the lifespan of a person. And so it really goes back to our childhood. If you don't do some of the hard work and really reflect upon what happened way back then, to know that it wasn't your fault, and you have to unpack it and bring it to light and bring the truth. The story you're telling yourself is true to you, but that may not be the truth.
Right.
Those are the things that actually can have a lot to do with chronic pain. And invariably, 100% of the time, I found that to be true in my practice. Some of the more difficult cases, they'll say, "Hey, Dr. Kelley, I need you to go and see so-and-so. I've given her this, and that. Nothing is working. Can you go see her?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And I go and I sit down, and over a series of a couple of days, I'll talk. And eventually I'll find out what really happened. And it was something long, long ago, something that has hurt the heart. Because the heart is a very energetic organ. And we know now that the number one cause of disease in America, or death in America, it's not cancer. We're afraid of cancer because it gets all the, that's the big bad player. But it's actually heart disease. it's high blood pressure, it's strokes, those kinds of things. Well, that's our heart. Those are issues of our heart. Number 2 cause of death is breast cancer. Well, which breast? Well, it's the left breast more so than it is the right. So those are the kinds of things that I think about. And sure enough, there was this lady that I was taking care of, chronic pain patient, had everything but the kitchen sink thrown at her, but was still having these challenges. And so I do things a little differently. I took her some essential oils, and I'm like, let's play a little game. Remember, I like to play games. Close your eyes. Big surprise. You tell me which one of these smells the best to you. And she closed her eyes. Oh, I love this one. This is wonderful. And then I gave her another one. Oh my God, that's repulsive. What, no, I don't like that at all. I said, well, whichever one you choose, we can use it. Let's open up the curtains. Let's get the sunshine in here. You can have it, as a matter of fact. You can use it as your perfume. So she said, okay, great. And so then she asked me, which one didn't I like? I said, you really want to know? She said, yes, I do. And I held it up to her, and it was forgiveness.
Wow.
She had unforgiveness, and she knew it. She had just gone through a divorce 5 years ago. She, a husband who had been unfaithful, and this lady almost lost her life as a result of the breast cancer, and then she had high, blood pressure way out of control, all of these sorts of things. So once, that was just the mirror that I held up to her, this unforgiveness, and it clicked. She got it. Once she got it, then she was able to begin to heal and figure out ways, okay, how do I truly need to forgive this person? Now, she was a very devout religious person, and so she went back to the Bible and she went back to God. That was her way of learning, how do I really forgive this person? Because forgiveness isn't for the other person. It's for you, so that you can get on and live your life. And so some of these things and she was also, had some challenges when she was a young girl, some things that happened when she was also in the military that she never dealt with. But the story that I tell people, look, you don't have to deal with these issues, but they're going to deal with you one way or the other, because it's like a splinter. They don't go away. They just kind of fester, and they don't bother you until you brush up against it. But then you're like, oh, that's right, I do have that splinter, but you've got to get that out. Whatever that is, you've got to get to the bottom of that. And then that's when the true healing can happen. That's when this chronic pain may be able to be resolved. So those are the kinds of things that we do. As I said, we just hold the mirror up and show you different ways. I'm not saying that you don't have pain. I'm not saying that at all, because I think pain is very real. But the question is, why? Why do I have this fibromyalgia? What is really happening? And it may on the surface, we'll call it something, but it's probably deeper than that, which is why we have the counselor on board, to help us get at some of those issues and challenges.
And is any of the work that you do and that the counselor does energy work related?
Energy, what do you mean energy?
It sounds like it is just from what you've been talking about, but really tapping into like those emotional, like deep emotional bruises and hurts.
Yes, absolutely. She, our counselor does it, and then so does the acupuncturist as well.
Yeah. I was doing because I have been dealing with chronic pain for several years and also, like you were saying, throwing almost everything at it that I can. I've been trying to go a little more woo, just to go, okay, well, if all these Western things are working, what can I do?
It was good.
I've been trying to do some energy clearing exercises, and I had some surprising things come up yesterday when I was working on that.
Isn't that amazing? Yes. Yes, it's amazing. It's never what it seems, but it's always, it's refreshing, because now once you know what it is, now you know how to really attack it. And it's probably not with the pharmaceuticals.
Right. It seems like, those can be helpful, but then they can also be a mask, right? And then you haven't done the deeper work.
Right.
What are your top tips for people who want to start maybe looking within and who we were talking about doing the hand massage, doing the foot massage, and that sort of thing. Do you have some other tips that you would recommend for people who want to start maybe accepting more responsibility and stop putting it out on the physicians and the medical staff?
Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you regain your power? I think one of the things is being aware, and then being mindful, is taking those deep breaths, but then subscribing to the notion that the power is within you. I mean, really, really believing that. I mean, you're just this incredible being that just happened to come down. You're this shining star, and really believing that you are the star and that you have all. And it begins small steps. Begin with nutrition. I'm not going to say don't eat this or don't eat that. I'm just going to say maybe you can eat more fruits and vegetables. I'll say just eat more of something, fruits and vegetables, and then you'll kind of crowd out the other things. And then maybe going on a small fast. And by fasting, I mean maybe just eating, and this is not medical advice, by the way. Please don't construe it as such, because I haven't examined anybody. Just maybe fasting, maybe stopping to eat after 6 p.m. and then just having more water, maybe more lemon water, and then maybe not eating a big, fat, juicy breakfast, maybe just not eating until noon. So 6 p.m. you stopped eating, and then you're not going to eat until your lunch. And maybe seeing how your body feels with that. Does your body feel lighter? Does your body, I mean, sure, there are going to be those initial hunger pains that you may have to work through, and that's where the hydration will come. But doing simple things like that, and then just noticing how you feel, maybe even keeping a little diary. Okay, I noticed I felt so-and-so. I felt better. I felt lighter. Or maybe I had a headache, but I was drinking more water and my headache went away. Things like that. I would say always start slow and be consistent, and be patient with yourself. I mean, you didn't, wherever you are, you didn't just get there.
Right.
It happened over time. So be patient with yourself. It's not going to go away in a week or 2 weeks. I know many promises can be made that, you can drop 10 pounds in a week. Well, maybe you can and maybe you can't. But if you want that weight to stay off, it's going to take a little bit more time, and it's going to take some focused movement. And I don't mean go to the gym and just work it out and blah, blah, blah. That's great if you have the time. But if you don't, just intentionally, walk for 30 minutes or walk for 45 if you can. If you can't, then just 15. Just whatever you start where you are, and you'll be a winner. And you'll see before long, it'll be 15. It'll be 30. You'll have the kids with you. You'll have the husband. You'll have the girlfriends. It'll be a big tribe that you create yourself. I mean, you don't have to give it to me. I mean, great. I mean, we're happy to come over and happy for you to join our Facebook group and all those sorts of things. That's great. But you can do it for yourself.
Yes, that's awesome. So where can people find you then if they want to find you and grab the book and do the retreat?
Oh, yeah. Grab the book. Boom. Let's see. Grab the book. I'll put it in my face. Grab the book. But you can also find us at corewellnesshawaii.com. corewellnesshawaii.com. Boom. I'll put this up. Can you see that?
I can see it. Yep.
All right. So corewellnesshawaii.com. Just give us a call. Our number is posted there. The book is on Amazon, The Road to Mana by me, Kim Kelley.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the show notes as well.
Hey, thanks, Tiffany.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So when you coming over?
I know it won't be very hard to convince my husband. He loves Hawaii. So, yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, you've got the number now. Don't be a stranger.
All right. Any final words for particularly our women who are listening and maybe feeling like they are wearing all the hats and need to find a different way of being in the world?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that is one of the things. I do want to say this in particular for the women, because we do wear many hats. We're wives, we're moms, we're also daughters. We take care of the children, we take care of our husbands, we take care of our parents who are aging. And it's only at the end of the day that we think about, what about me? And we have to begin to give ourselves credit and validate ourselves that we have to take care of ourselves. Because think about it. If we don't take care of ourselves, then who is going to take care of our loved ones? And so we do have to take time out for ourselves and honor and value the beautiful women that we are and put ourselves first. And in putting ourselves first, actually, we can take better care of our family and our loved ones. If we're, the saying, if mama's happy, everybody's happy. That's true. So we're taking better care of ourselves and giving yourself permission to take a deep breath, permission to take time out and have some downtime. Or maybe it's just a bath by yourself with a nice candle and some bubble bath all by yourself, and the door is locked and the kids can't come in. So the simple things, I think, and yes, we owe it to ourselves. We definitely owe it to ourselves as women to do that. But just, as I said, one small step at a time. I know you can't do all the things you may be able may want to do, but maybe just a walk around the block to start off. And maybe you can't do all the healthy whole foods and all of that business, but just start off with more fruits and veggies on your plate. And so the key is to be well within. Be well within. That's our little saying that we like to say. So be well within.
All right. Well, you too.
Thanks, Tiffany. Thank you so much. It's been a joy. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
This is a public service announcement from Peace, Love, and Wine. Hey, Mermaid, are you feeling calm AF? If not, I have a solution for you, and it's free. Go to peaceloveandwine.com and grab your free self-care download by entering your name into the pop-up, or just go to the show notes and grab your Calm AF link there into your email, and we'll get you on your way to feeling good. Oh, yeah.